As Mikel Arteta continues his transition into the 4-3-3, he's identified signing a new number 8 as a summer priority. So Leicester's Youri Tielemans entering the final year of his contract. Let's find out today if the Gunners are set to pounce. Why are Arsenal set for a meeting with Bologna? Could Eddie Nketiah be getting a new Arsenal contract? And how's Mikel Arteta going to line up in the massive North London derby on Thursday? Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Babs14. Welcome back to your boys channel, and right now all I can say is the nerves have well and truly kicked in. That massive gargantuan game on Thursday. But as always, you guys know the drill. If you enjoy the content, make sure to go down there, smash a like, and also do subscribe to the channel if you are new. And starting off with Leicester City's Youri Tielemans. Granit Xhaka has done pretty well deputising as a number 8, but going into the long term, if Arsenal actually want to maximise the full quality of a 4-3-3, it is vitally important that Arsenal sign the right profile type of number 8, and that's where enters the fray Mr. Youri Tielemans. Yesterday we had confirmation from David Ornstein that Arsenal see Tielemans as their top number 8 target, and now you also have Ben Jacobs of CBS Sports confirm that Arsenal are the front runners to sign Youri Tielemans, having held talks since last year and are confident they can sign the player if they qualify for the Champions League. Tielemans has always been impressed by Arsenal, and there is a feeling on both parties that terms can be agreed. So Arsenal are confident of completing a transfer for Youri Tielemans, but what are we talking in terms of price tag? Well, according to Simon Collins of the Evening Standard, despite the signing hinging on whether Arsenal qualify for the Champions League, it is thought that Tielemans could be available for around £30 million. In negotiations, I think Arsenal have a massive advantage, and the key behind that is the fact that Tielemans is entering the final year of his Leicester contract, and with him making it pretty clear to Leicester that he does not want to renew going into the future, it gives any negotiating club with Leicester a massive advantage because the player's desire is very clear, and therefore it gives Leicester no option but to sell the player. And even according to Voltball in Belgium, Tielemans' transfer to Arsenal is taking shape, with talks between the clubs and his agents going smoothly. However, the player wants Arsenal to qualify for the Champions League first before he effectively gives his blessing to materialise the transfer. So that is now 3 reports in a row that all claim that for Arsenal to complete the transfer of Youri Tielemans, they first need to secure the return to the Champions League. Leicester had been fighting for the top 4 but not able to get over the line. So this season, if Arsenal were able to do what Leicester have been unable to do for so many seasons, not only would Arsenal be able to offer Tielemans the elite European football, but ultimately with just a massive upgrade on Leicester City. But it's worth pointing out that Arsenal aren't the only club trying to acquire the Belgian international, with the likes of Manchester United, Tottenham Hotspur, and even the likes of Real Madrid reportedly interested. But the fact that Arsenal have already opened negotiations behind the scenes with the camp of Youri Tielemans, it indicates that Arsenal are serious about this transfer, and that Edu Gaspar and the Arsenal board are trying their best to get his transfer over the line as soon as possible. But let's just say Arsenal were to complete this transfer, the first key question that you have to ask is, does Tielemans suit the profile of what Arsenal are looking for? Well, here you have a Tielemans graphic from the 1920 season, where Leicester were playing a 4-1-4-1 formation, essentially a 4-3-3, with Tielemans asked to play as the advanced central midfielder, and as you guys can see, he excelled in so many of the passing categories: expected assists per 90, progressive passes, shot creating actions, and also was involved in 9 goals, helping Leicester to a 5th place finish. So quite clearly Tielemans has a pretty successful history of playing as a number 8 type of profile, but the next question you have to ask is he really an upgrade on Granit Xhaka? Well, here's a graphic which compares Tielemans and Xhaka in terms of attacking stats in the Premier League, dating all the way back to 2018-19, and as you guys can see, Tielemans is definitely a better attacker than Granit Xhaka. But on top of that, Tielemans would also offer Arsenal a very strong ball progressor, but he is not better in that category than Granit Xhaka. And I guess the desire for Mikel Arteta to sign a player like Youri Tielemans is of the idea that Arsenal become a proper ball dominant team, and as Arsenal have more and more of the ball, when you have creative passers like Youri Tielemans, in that final third Arsenal will be able to pick off defences, break down deep blocks, and ultimately with the ball to feet, Tielemans will cause so many issues alongside Martin Odegaard. That is a pretty tasty thought. Arsenal are confident of completing this transfer, but is he the right signing, the right profile for Arsenal to be targeting in the summer transfer window. But talking about transfers, what about the left back? Well, according to Corriere dello Sport in Italy, a meeting will take place between Bologna and Arsenal for the transfer of Aaron Hickey in the next few hours. Arsenal have decided to accelerate things and want to close a deal soon. Arsenal do have genuine interest in the Scottish international, and it makes a lot of sense why. If you think Takahiro Tomiyasu is good with both feet, wait till you see Aaron Hickey. He uses his right foot around 35% of the time. That's even more than Takahiro Tomiyasu. And quite clearly that's an attribute that Mikel Arteta wants to see in his players. And it makes a lot of sense why, because when it comes to the build-up phase, when you've got players that are ambidextrous, comfortable in playing on both feet, teams often try to press to get the ball out wide. But if Arsenal have almost these two secret weapons of Tomiyasu and Aaron Hickey, both players that are so comfortable in playing on both feet and at all angles, the passing angles and that simple ability to play at the back is going to be different gravy. The fact that he's still 19 years of age and quite clearly excelling in this area, he scored 5 goals as well, but because he is ambidextrous and so comfortable on both feet, he could also provide Arsenal as a backup right back cover as well. The fact that Arsenal also have a decent connection with Bologna, having signed Tomiyasu on deadline day last season, it confirms that Arsenal have a pretty decent connection behind the scenes, and therefore if Arsenal want to bring Aaron Hickey to the Emirates Stadium, this is a very plausible transfer. From transfer news to brand new contracts, according to John Cross of the Mirror, Arsenal are pulling out all of the stops to keep Eddie Nketiah and remain hopeful of being able to strike a deal after holding further talks with his representatives. Arsenal have been trying to sign Nketiah down to a brand new contract for a very long time, and now after his recent turn in form, they are getting a bit desperate, as according to John Cross, Arsenal are now willing to dramatically increase Nketiah's salary from being one of the lowest paid first teamers into being a big earner, which could mean they could end up signing only one striker, with Gabriel Jesus firmly on the radar. Initially with Lacazette and Nketiah leaving, Arsenal were going to sign 2 strikers, but if Arsenal keep Eddie Nketiah, I don't think that will be the case. I only then see Arsenal signing one massive centre forward in the summer transfer window. And in terms of Eddie Nketiah in his recent form, this guy is putting up some absolutely insane numbers, excelling in the shooting stats but also in terms of the dribbling and the passing. Just forget the name Eddie Nketiah for a second and just imagine that these were the graphics of a brand new signing instead. Then I am absolutely certain that so many more Arsenal fans would be excited. Do you believe in Eddie Nketiah to be that centre forward to lead the Arsenal line going into the next few years? Moving on to the North London derby, let's talk Tottenham versus Arsenal. If there was ever a time to say it, I think now it is. This, my friends, is the most massive and the most gargantuan game of Arsenal's season. It is match point to Arsenal Football Club, as they understand that if they are able to go to Spurs' ground and win their first game there since 2013-14, they will mathematically confirm the return to the Champions League. And going into this game, Spurs are going in 3 games unbeaten, having won 2 games out of the last 5, but in their last game putting in a pretty decent performance against Liverpool at Anfield. To compare that to Arsenal, we are going into this game on a 4-game winning streak. But as the games against Brighton, Crystal Palace and Southampton have showed, in the Premier League, in the massive games in particular, form can go out of the window. The likes of Harry Kane and Heung-min Son Kulusevski are so dangerous in transition. They've won at the Etihad away, they've got a point at Anfield, and in these big games, Spurs have caused the best teams in the league quite a few issues. But saying that, they are not a perfect side, and the games against Brentford and Brighton showed that if teams can nullify Harry Kane and cut off all the passing lanes, then Spurs are unable to adapt, and that is where Arsenal need to take advantage. But looking into the team news, Spurs will be without the likes of Sergio Reguilon, Oliver Skipp, Japhet Tanganga and Matt Doherty, whereas in terms of Arsenal, we were still without Thomas Partey and Kieran Tierney. But on the other hand, Mikel Arteta is also pretty confident that we could see the return of Ben White to the Arsenal starting 11. But how exactly is that 11 going to look like? And I think the massive question here for Arteta is going to be, is he going to deploy the back 5? Well, I think we are going to see a bit of a 4-2-3-1 or a 5 at the back hybrid, with Aaron Ramsdale in goal and a back 4 of Ben White, Rob Holding, Gabriel and Takahiro Tomiyasu, with Xhaka and Elneny in midfield, and a trio of Martinelli, Martin Odegaard and Bukayo Saka behind the striker in Eddie Nketiah. When I mentioned the back 4/back 5 hybrid, go back to the game against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. In attacking phases, Arsenal played a 4-2-3-1 with Bukayo Saka playing as a right winger. But in the defensive phase up against a back 5 Chelsea team, up against teams that have wing backs, they can have a 5v4 advantage in the final third. Therefore, to combat that, Mikel Arteta used Bukayo Saka as a bit of a hybrid winger and wing back. The fact that Spurs were able to go to Anfield and go to the hardest away game of the season, and they were still able to have joy on the counter-attack. If these guys are given space to run in behind and too much time on the ball, they will cause Arsenal massive issues, and therefore the communication between the likes of Mohamed Elneny, Ben White, Rob Holding and Gabriel is going to be vitally important. Arsenal have to ensure that they're very tight and secure, and by all means necessary, cut off all the passing lanes to Harry Kane. But what formation do you guys want to see Mikel Arteta play, and what would be your own personal Arsenal predicted lineup? But in terms of Antonio Conte going into the game on Arsenal, he says they are a really good team, a really organised team. Arteta is doing a really good job. He's in charge for almost 2 years and has had the possibility to work and improve his team. So praise from Antonio Conte there. And in terms of Conte versus Arsenal and the history, having faced Arsenal 8 times in his career, he has only won just once, drawing 3 times and losing a further 4. The atmosphere is going to be raucous and Spurs fans are certainly up for it. This game may just be a defining moment going into the future, so therefore for Arsenal, it's vitally important that we get to the game with the right mentality, and for me, the most important thing is going to be getting that first goal. Then activate the back 5 Rob Holdini, park that bus and get out of there with 3 points, all means necessary. I myself am so nervous, but what are your own thoughts? Are you guys confident? What are your match predictions? And do you believe in his young Arsenal team up against what's going to be a loud Spurs away crowd and somehow and some way clinch the return to the Champions League football? Moving on to the other Arsenal news today, and starting off looking into the future and the pre-season tour of 2022, as it's been officially confirmed that Arsenal will kick off their tour of the USA with a match against Everton in the Charm City match on Saturday the 16th of July at the M&T Bank Stadium, home of the NFL side Baltimore Ravens. First is Everton, then it's Orlando City, and the final game is up against Chelsea on July the 23rd. US Schooners, be excited. The Arsenal will come into the US of A, and potentially, dare I even say, if I get the opportunity, I myself might travel across the pond and may make a cheeky little appearance myself on Arsenal's tour of the USA, but that's for the future, so let's leave it there. And finally, according to The Sun, Spurs players, staff and management are still privately seething about the postponed game with Arsenal due to COVID in early January. This all dates back to January 2022, with players out on AFCON and a couple apparent COVID cases, Arsenal somehow called the game off. Conte was left furious, and likewise the Spurs players and the Spurs board and the Spurs fans. But all that is done is made this game on Thursday that bit more gargantuan and that bit more nervous. But going into the game, when Granit Xhaka was asked by an Arsenal fan, "Granit, what are you doing on Thursday?" he replied, "We don't speak, we do it." And we're gonna find out what these players are well and truly made of. You can talk the talk all you want, but now it is time to walk the walk. This game is gargantuan. The Champions League football is one 90-minute win away. It is a chance for these Arsenal players to make the project go bang, and going into the future, make us Arsenal fans really and truly excited that this young Arsenal team can put their age and inexperience to one side. They can rise to the occasion, go to Spurs, collect all 3 points and return us to the Champions League. Is that going to happen? As always, we're going to have to wait and see. But that is the video there, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed, and if you have, make sure to go down there, smash a like, and also do subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you would like to follow your boy on all of those social medias, then the links will be down below in the description. But that was all of the latest Arsenal news today. Going into the massive game, gargantuan game on Thursday. It's Spurs away, it's the North London derby. I don't need to hype it up, and the nerves are there. But for Arsenal, it's an opportunity to return us to the Champions League. Will they do it? We are going to have to wait and see. But until then, take care of yourselves, and in a bit.